Good morning, everyone. Welcome to their practice. And we start the practice lying on the back. You're welcome to bend your knees and plant your feet hip distance apart. And maybe take a couple of pelvic tilts just to find where is the comfortable position for the pelvis in terms of the neutral spine here. And play with the position of your arms and maybe have a moment to squeezing their shoulder blades to set the shoulders in external rotation. Adjust the position of the back of the head. Some of us might feel the head is falling too low. You would need to elevate the head with layers of support like folded blanket or a towel. So you feel that the back of the neck is neutral. Let's take a couple of long exhales. So we come into the practice from maybe some type of morning activities, and definitely we, especially today, we have a long list to do before the long weekend, before the weekend in general, but also long weekend and holiday. So you might have in a mind setting like, okay, I need to be done with yoga quickly and then return back to my routine. So let us spend those couple of first moments just separating their day before and after from practice. Allow yourself to enjoy the moment now and enjoy the moment here where you are practicing today, in your living room, in your basement, in your bedroom maybe. And after you settle their body in the mat, you would like to settle your mind on the mat as well. So to do that, the easiest way is just start observing the breath. Start observing their inhalation coming through the nostrils in, exhalation coming through the nostrils out. You might emphasize the exhalations, allowing a little bit of a sound of exhale. Allow your belly to expand and collapse softly. Scan the body and admit to the part of the body that's touching the mat, and allow yourself to feel that you're grounding, you're rooting your body through their feet, through the pelvis, through the mid-back, back of the head, elbows, palms. That will help you to sense your present here and now. Let us have here 5 more breaths. Then just invite some movements in toes and fingers, circle the wrists and ankles. You might want to bring your knees to your chest. We were on the back for some time, so maybe you would like to massage your lower back. before we continue, because we're going to be on the back for a little bit more. And then bring your feet back, adjust the pelvis, maybe lift it a couple of times, so just move the body on the mat a little bit. And then let us take the right arm across the chest, so straight arm goes across the chest, and then you're going to just press the left forearm just above the right elbow to press the arm to the chest, so you feel stretch behind the right shoulder. Very gentle. When I'm going to be using the cue press, it's something that working with the limits of your body, of your mobility. And then release, and we'll do the same to the left. So take the left arm across and press the forearm very gently, opening the back of the shoulder. Take it another exhale, and let's release. Bring the arms in T position. Extend your left leg and take the right knee across. So you not necessarily have to reach the floor with the right knee, just a very gently twist. We would like to sense how the body feeling in twisting. Your shoulder blades and back of the head remain on the floor. You're lifting the right hip, and just feel a little bit of a stretch around the right glute and the back of the right leg. You might feel some stretch around the right shoulder right now, because we're keeping the right shoulder grounded, so you feel stretch on the front of the shoulder this time. And let's return back to the center. Reset your hips and shoulders back on the midline. Extend your right leg and take the left knee across. So whatever you can reach. And you start feeling stretch around the left shoulder again, and then maybe a little bit around the left hip, just to check how that feels. Taking maybe 2-3 exhales here, adjusting position to feel a bit of intensity here, and then return the knee back to the midline. Let's lift the feet and bring the feet together, and the Baddha Konasana. You can reach to your feet. If it's too intense for you, you can hold your ankles, you can even hold your shins. Just open the knees apart and have a little bit stretch on the inner thighs. And when you do that, make sure that you're not lifting your tailbone off the floor. So if this is challenging for you, don't bring the feet together. Keep the feet slightly apart, but make sure your lower back stays neutral. Neutral means that you feel a little bit of a space between the lower back and the mat. So you're not flexing, you're not pressing your lower back rounded to the floor. So use your elbows to press the knees apart and allow a little bit of the inner thigh stretch. And then let's release the feet back to the floor. Again, readjust your pelvis and then get yourself into the dead bug legs. So knees are above the hips, heels align with the knees, so your heels are not dropped. You might keep your heels a little bit higher, that's possible, but make sure that your knees not collapse into the chest. Make sure it's 90 degrees. So you can check that by reaching to your knees with the tip of the fingers. So your fingers shouldn't slide into the shins. You're just barely touching the knees, and then take your arms up toward the ceiling. Ground your shoulder blades. Make sure you're maintaining neutral spine position, and we're going to hold this position for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's bring the knees to your chest, massage that. So you're making sure that you're not extending your lower back, you're not back bending there, and let's do it again. So set your feet apart, knees apart, 90 degrees. Take your arms up, ground your shoulder blades. So don't lift your shoulders to the ears. You should have their upper back settle on the mat as well. You start feeling burning in your midsection. That's good. Make sure that you don't feel any uncomfortable sensation in your lower back. Holding 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's again rest. You can bring your feet down to the floor and or bring your knees to your chest to massage the lower back. We'll have one more set of this dead back position. So again, setting your knees first of all, 90 degree. Heels might be a little bit higher, but definitely not lower than the knee position. You can take your arms up toward the ceiling, ground your shoulder blades, keep your gaze up to the ceiling, holding 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. So let us bring the knees to your chest and start rocking from the head to the hips a couple of times, and then come into seated position, and then right away come into the tabletop position. So setting your hands shoulder width apart, separate your fingers, send your middle finger straight forward, ground the knuckle of the index finger and the thumb, and get your knees hip distance apart. So finding your neutral position. And then check your shoulders. So make sure that you're not shrugging your shoulders up. Get them away, and then press the floor with your arms. Think of stabilizing your shoulders by engaging those muscles below the shoulder blade. So here on the side, serratus anterior. That is very important for our arm balancing poses. We need to activate them when we support the shoulders. Neck is neutral. Tap your toes. Lift your knees off the floor. 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 2, 2, 1. Drop the knees. Get a quick stretch for the wrist if you need. And make sure that you have enough space to step in the mat, so you might move with your plank, with your tabletop a little bit more forward. Set your hands, press the floor. And we're going to again tuck the toes, lift the knees off the floor. So stabilize the upper back here. Keep neutral. Next, step your right foot back. Step your left foot back in the plank. Squeeze your glutes, tuck the tailbone under. Think of pressing the lower back up toward the ceiling. Hold. And then return back into the beast. So bend your right knee. Make sure knees under the hip. Bend your left knee. Don't lift your hips. Hold. And then drop the knees. Stretch your arms. We have one more set here. So coming back into the tabletop position, tucking the toes, lifting the knees off the floor. Control your neutral spine. Extend your left leg. So when you're extending the left, don't lift your hips. Extend your right leg. You're in a plank. Press the floor. Puff the space between the shoulder blades. Tuck the tailbone under. Squeeze your glutes. Hold the belly in. Hold. Now bend your left knee. Make sure knees under the hip. So it's coming closer. You don't lift in your hips. Bring your right knee. Hold. Neutral position. Push, 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 push. Exhale. Let's take the knees a little bit wide and drop the hips toward the heels. Come into the child pose. Release the arms in front. You can stretch your wrist, relaxing the shoulders. Exhale. So yes, maybe this is just a really intense and challenging start, but we activated the core muscles that will help us to keep their balance, to keep their alignment of their yoga poses. Take another exhale, and then let us come into downward dog. So before you lift in your hips, set your hands, middle finger straight forward, tuck your toes, lift your hips up, set your feet hip distance. Start with a lot of a bending in the knees and elongate through the spine. Set the head between the arms. Maybe think of separating the shoulder blades a little bit. So again, think of those muscles on the back of the shoulder blades, on the side of the shoulder blades, that helping you to stabilize the shoulders here. Shake your head and then look forward. Walk to the front of the mat. Set your feet hip distance and slide your hands just on the knees or above the knees. So you not necessarily have to be parallel to the floor. You might be a little bit higher, but you want to maintain the neutral spine. Roll the shoulders back, take your arms wide, and let us make a fist and turn the thumb up toward the ceiling. There are 2 practices ago, I believe we practiced that line on the belly, that we're going to come as well, but I want to do this first into this position. So press the thumbs up toward the ceiling, engage the upper back, but don't leave. I know you want to see the screen, but you don't need to see the screen. You just can listen to me. Make sure the gaze is down to the floor, so neck is neutral. Press, 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 and then release the arms. Round the spine, tuck the tailbone under, relax your arms, and very slowly come up into standing position. Exhale. So we are on the front of the mat in a mountain pose, arms on the side, the hips, palms facing forward. So after the previous exercise, you feel how your upper back is engaged, creating this support. You're using your core muscles that we also warmed up, your internal core muscles that helping you to maintain your pelvis in neutral position here. So every time in standing, have a little bit of engagement of your glutes and lower abdomen to create the support for the upper body. Chin is parallel to the floor. With inhale, lift the arms up. Let's pause here with the arms overhead. So check if your arms are, if you have limitation in your shoulders, the arms are maybe a little bit more forward. That's okay, but don't lift to the shoulders. So you would like to practice arms just exactly on the sides of the ears. And when you do that, don't compensate by extension of the lower back. You should maintain neutral spine, even your arms are slightly in front of you. Then bring the palms together, hinge from the hips. Exhale, fold forward, bring your hands to the mat, release the head, feel stretch on the back of your body, legs and spine, shake your head maybe. And then step your left foot back and drop the left knee down to the floor. Adjust the right foot to the distance that when you lift your torso, you are in 90-90 lunge. So you are in the neutral spine position, front knee 90 degree. Take your arms into T position, palms facing the front, and let's rotate to the right. So make sure that you're not moving just your left arm. So you would like to align. So just imagine that you're holding the stick behind your back, and if you have limitation, you're just stopping maybe 10%, maybe 15%, but not moving the arm. So you want to have your real rotation on the thoracic spine. Return back to the center, bring the hands on the floor, lift your left knee and step into downward dog. Exhale, long spine. On next exhale, drop the knees down to the floor. So we're coming to the same sequence we practiced earlier. So we are in the tabletop position. Press the floor, lift your knees off the floor, hold, and then extend the right leg and extend your left leg. Hold, tuck the tailbone under, hold, and then bend your left knee, bend your right knee, hold, and then drop the knees down to the floor. Step your hands a little bit forward, tuck your toes and come into downward dog. Exhale. Using that downward dog as a contour pose, release the spine. If you're feeling that you tense in the lower spine because your core muscles may be a little bit weak, so this is the chance to release it. Then step the right foot closer to the midline and step your left foot forward. It's just a halfway between the foot and the hands, and drop the right knee down to the floor. Lift your torso up. So make sure you're not moving your hips forward and you're not in extension here. You're tucking the tailbone under. Your right glute is working here. Take your arms parallel to the floor. Twist to the left again. Try not to move your right arm. Your true rotation of thoracic spine against the hips. And hips are locked with this position to face the front. Don't overdo the twist in the neck as well. Return back to the center. Bring the hands on the floor. Step into downward dog. Exhale. So after twist, downward dog is also contour poses, helping us to release the spine after twist. Let's drop the knees down to the floor one more time. Again, adjust your hands. Same sequence. Press the floor. Tug the toes. Lift the knees. Hold. Then extend your right leg. Extend your left leg. Hold. Squeeze your glutes. Hold the belly in. Bend your right knee down. Bend your left knee down. Drop the knees down to the floor. Take your knees a little bit wide. Drop the hips toward the heels. Extend your arms forward and be active here. So walking the fingers away, feeling stretch on the armpit. So if you have limitation in the shoulders and your head is not reaching the floor, just keep the neck neutral and have the space between the forehead and the mat, the way that it feels right for you. Then walk your hands to the left. If you're on the floor, you might reach to the right wrist with the left hand. If you're high, just hold the head on your arms, just creating a bit of a stretch around the right armpit, only in the range that feels just right for you, just a good stretch. Return back to the center and walk your hands to the other side. So if you forehead on the floor, you might reach to your left wrist. If your forehead off the floor, just find the position that working for you the best way. Exhale, return back to the center, look forward and slide your forearms down. So coming into the Sphinx pose. So in the Sphinx pose, readjust your forearms 90 degrees, maintain your neck neutral. So gaze probably slightly down to the floor, and we're not lifting anything, we're just engaging the legs to the point that knees comes off the floor. You're squeezing your glutes, and for this first one, I want you to find this lower abdomen engagement when belly button comes off the floor. So the lower body is working really hard. The upper body right now, pretty relaxed. You see, I can move my hands, but I feel how my lower body works here. And then let's exhale all the way down. Bring the forehead on the palms. So you still want to maintain your upper body same relaxed when you're lifting both legs off the floor. So the lower body works the same way. You squeeze your glutes, you have your hamstring engaged. You're trying to also help from the lower abdomen here, but your neck is relaxed, your shoulders are relaxed. And exhale here. Shake your legs. We have one more set. So pointing toes, strong legs, and lift your legs off the floor. Holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release down. Bring the hands on the sides of the rib cage and find your way maybe through the calf stretch into the downward dog. Exhale. Taking the breath here, and then look forward and walk to the front of the mat. Set your feet hip distance. Slide your hands on the knees or just above the knees. Maintain your neutral spine, and then start dropping the hips down, coming into chair pose. So let's start the chair pose with touching the knees, maintaining neutral spine, maintaining gaze up parallel to the floor, and then bring the arms in front. Hold the chair pose. So make sure you're not extending. Very good. So you're not extending here. You're in a neutral position. Holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Press yourself up. Let's have a pause here again. Just making sure that we have one straight line. We're not extending. Not compensating in the lower back. Exhale, bring the arms on the sides of the hips. Taking the breath. We'll go to the next one. Inhale, lift the arms up again. Pausing here. Then hinging from the hips and coming into the fold. Then slide your hands up around the knees. Some of you might be below the knees, some of the knees. Maintaining neutral spine here. So hold it here. And then bring the body weight slightly forward. So it's like you want to dive, but your heels are still grounded. And see how you feel your back of the legs working. hold the abdomen engaged. So you want to engage all those core muscles to maintain the torso in this folded position. And then touch the floor and step your left foot back. And bring the hands on the thigh, so you're still in this maintained position here in the torso, so you're not extending, you're not in the warrior one. You're finding how you slightly want to tug the tailbone under, engage in the left leg. And if you're ready, take your arms on the both sides of the head, holding 4 or 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the hands on the floor and drop the left knee down to the floor. Find your block. I hope you can reach it from this position. And bring the block inside the right foot. Then bring the right hand on the block and rotate yourself to the right, taking the left arm up. So pressing that left elbow into the right knee and taking the left arm up. Feeling a stretch in the front of the chest. The left knee supporting you. So opening yourself to the left. Right hand, I believe, Emilia, you should put the right hand on the block and face the camera. Yes, that's it. So opening here. And then let's release the left hand down to the floor, release the block, tap the left toes and step into the downward dog. Exhale, long spine. On next inhale, look forward and slide into the plank. Push the floor, tug the tailbone under, strong glutes. Drop the knees and come all the way down. Exhale. We're going to take the arms into T. If you're not comfortable to have your forehead down on the floor, use the block to support the forehead so you have a space for your nose. Make a fist and open your thumbs up toward the ceiling, exactly how we did in standing position. Keep your legs strong and let's lift the arms up. Hold that. Squeezing the shoulder blades, but make sure the squeeze happening not from the top of trapezius. Hold and then release down. Let's bend the elbows into the cactus pose, but keep the same position for your fist. So you're holding your fist and thumb is up toward the ceiling. And again, lift your forearms, lift your forearms. So make sure elbows are not reaching to your rib cage. You're maintaining 90 degree in the elbows. Push, 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 up, 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 and release. Turn your palms down toward the floor. Make a fist. So this time your thumb is with a fist. And then lift your forearms again. A little bit different work for the same muscle. So 90 degree. Control your elbows. They're not going to the rib cage. Forearms are parallel to the floor. Hold and release. Let's release the block if you have it under the forehead. Bring the hands on the sides of the rib cage. Roll the shoulder back. And then lift the torso up. And you should feel that those muscles that we just engaged working to lift your chest off the floor. You see, I'm talking. I can do with my hands whatever I want. It's my back, it's my glutes, it's my hamstring, it's my upper back muscles that helping me to maintain this spinal extension. Bring the hands to the floor. If you try to lift them like I did, bring the chin to the chest. Have a moment in there. Cat stretch and then tuck your toes and come into the downward dog. Exhale, long spine. Let's have here 5 breaths. Anytime you're finding that the downward dog is challenging for you, you're welcome to have their modification into the child pose, knees down. Step the right foot close to the midline and step your left foot forward. It might take you a couple of attempts to get to this lunge position, and then finding right away the back leg supporting, lift the torso up, lift your chest up. So let's hold here. Make sure you're not collapsing to your front leg. Use the back leg. You are 90 degree here. You're maintaining this belt that support the spine, and then take your arms on the both sides of the head, holding 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release the hands, drop the right knee down to the floor. Again, find the block, bring the block inside the left foot, bring the left hand to the block, press the knee into the left elbow, and take your right arm up, open the chest here. So the right knee for this variation is on the floor, and you're more emphasizing the stretch in the front of the shoulder. Exhale, bring the right hand down to the floor, tuck the right toes, and step it to the front. So you are with the feet parallel to each other. Slide your hands to the knees, slightly above the knees if you need. Check your neutrality here, and then drop the hips. Take your arms up into chair pose, holding 4 or 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Press from the heels up into the mountain pose. Exhale, bring the arms on both sides of the hips. Okay, let's rest a little bit from the folding forward. Let's add a bit of the side bend, and I would like you to have a block for this one. So combination of the side bend and balance. We're going to start with the side bend. So hold the block overhead, and let us drop the hips to the left. So move the hips to the left a lot and come into side bend. So keep your head between the arms, look straight forward, open the whole left side of the body. Feel how the body weight comes off your right foot. So it's really lightly touching the floor. So move the hip, move the hip, move the hip. Not all hips are moving to the left. Move, 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 more, 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 more. Feel stretch in the rib cage. Come back to the center. Let's release the arms and shake them. And let's go to the other. Taking the block overhead. Moving the hips. So before you bend, don't think of bending the arms. Think of moving the hips. So start with moving the hips. And then your arms following opposite direction. So when you're moving the hips, you need to maintain balance as your arms goes to the left. So create stretch on the right side of the rib cage. Definitely if you have limitation in your shoulders, you feel them. So adjust accordingly so you feel comfortable. Press, press, press again. Feel that the body weight comes to the right leg. The left leg is just really lightly touching, and come back to the center. Exhale. So shake your hips a little bit. And let us take the block overhead. And this time we're going to bring the body weight to the right foot. Bring the left toe, just left toe touching the floor. And then, so instead of moving the hips, so that's why I want you to feel, instead of moving the hips how we did, we start hinging from the hip with the torso, and that, when we start moving the torso, we're lifting the leg and holding here the balance. So this is not the side bend when you feel stretch. Your torso is equal here, and you hold. You don't need to go low. Try to look forward. Some of the gazes I see on the screen is coming down to the floor here. So keep opening your chest towards the screen. Flex your left foot and pull the leg into the hip socket. Find how that will engage your obliques here, how it's engage your internal core muscles. This is all about core and stability. Stability of the right hip, stability of the right ankle, and the core strength. And then you can do with your arms whatever you want because you're stable. And release. Very good, very good. Some experimented here with the arms. I'm happy. Let's do it on the other side. So bring the body weight to the left foot. Have a right big toe touching, holding the block overhead. Stabilize your left hip and hinging. Hinging. So hinge happening not from the waist area. Hinge happening from the hips. And you're lifting the right leg. Flex the right foot. Pull the leg into the hip socket. hold here. Feel how your belt is activated. Belt that holding your midsection, holding 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. Shake your head, legs. You can shake your head too. Shake your arms. And let us now practice a little bit different variation for the balance. That also combination of the internal core and leg stability. So bring the body weight to the right foot, bend your left knee, flex your left foot. So knees are aligned here. So left knee is not coming to the front. You keep the knees together. And you hinge it exactly how we did in the chair pose, how we did in the just fold forward, neutral spine here. You can hold the block in your chest to start with, and then start extending your left leg, and then start coming with the chest slightly down, like you want to come with the block down to the floor. You can hold the block in front of your chest. That's going to give you indication that you're not rotating to the left. The block should be exactly parallel to the floor. You can take your arms down with the block, hold it here, or you might extend your arms with the block on the both sides of the head. Hold here, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Feel how the center is here. On the leg, on the hips, lift the torso up, drop the leg and release. Shake your leg and let's build it on the other side. So you all the time should feel that the hip and leg is the center of the pose, and you're trying to balance with the torso and the leg. So the leg behind have to be engaged. It's anchoring you. So let us bend the right knee, get your knees together, flex the foot, hinge from the hips. Neutral position here, right? You can hold the block first and your chest. So that's helping you to kind of be focused on the balance. And extend your leg. So when you're extending your leg, you feel the lightness in the leg. Nothing happening in the torso. You feel that you're balancing the torso and leg around the hip. So you can hold the block down. You can hold the block on the both sides with the hands on the both sides of the head. Flex the foot. Hold 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you still balancing, you're still stable, you're not touching the floor. You can go to something else maybe, but we're not going to do it. Release. Shake your legs. Excellent. Let's bring the block down to the floor. Step to the front of the mat. Close your eyes and take a moment to scan the back of your body. You should feel how now, if you were able to follow my instruction in the previous balance pose, you should feel your hamstrings, you should feel your glutes, and that's create the whole support for the body in a neutral spine. Catch your breath, and we'll go to your next flow. With inhale, lift the arms up. Bring the palms together, hinge, and come into the fold. Then let's step the left foot back. This time we're staying with a high lunge position, and then we're dropping the left heel down to the floor. Walking the hands toward the left edge of the mat. So you're in a warrior 2 legs. Lift your torso up. So you're facing the long left side of the mat with the right knee facing front, with the left hip slightly rotating forward. Take the arms overhead. So you're not facing the front of the mat, you with the shoulders, you're facing the side of the mat, and that's where confusion comes. We can't get hips parallel because otherwise the knee will collapse and we overloading the medial ligament. You're engaging the inner thigh to maintain the knee straight, but your shoulders are facing the front, and then take the arms to the side. So you're coming into warrior 2. Think that someone, just imagine that someone is pulling your left arm backward. So it's not allowing you to go forward. And then bring your gaze to the front. Feel emphasis of the back arm and feel very, very light right arm. So don't let the right arm pull you forward. Don't let your right quad pull you forward. Everything is here, all the emphasis on the back of the body. Then let's release the arms for the moment. I hope you can pick up the block. Use the high end of the block. Bring the block inside the right knee and bring your hand in the block. We've already been here with the upper body, but now we have a knee off the floor. Sometimes we need to adjust and stand a little bit wider to drop the hip. So I would like you to avoid this hip facing up the ceiling. So go a little bit low, drop the hip and then take your left arm up. Opening the chest to the left. So hand is inside the right knee. So those who doesn't have a block, inside the right knee. Helen, bring your right arm inside the knee. So you are here, bring it in front of the knee. And press, yes, press the elbow, exactly. Press the elbow inside the knee, reach up, open the chest. And then release the left arm, look down. Take your time to lift the left heel and then step into downward dog. If that's required several moves, that's fine. Take yourself into the downward dog. Long spine here. Head between the arms. Elongate through the spine. Exhale, catch your breath. Then on inhale, flow into plank. Hold the plank. 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop the knees, come all the way down to the floor. So I would like today to introduce the exercise that I do with my personal trainer, and it's called sloppy push-ups. So this is challenging for us yogis because all what I'm teaching you is to use your glutes and back to lift your torso up. Now you need to be maximum relaxed in your body. Bring your hands closer to the rib cage. You really need to send your elbows back. And this time, you press the elbows to the rib cage, relax the body, and you just lifting yourself up. So really fast. And you should feel your triceps working. So just go like that. It's called sloppy push-ups. You need to be relaxed in your glutes and legs because you want to exercise your triceps. I caught myself that I'm so used to use my glutes and legs that instead of using triceps, I'm using my back to lift. So you really need to be conscious of being relaxed in your legs and glutes. So see if you have this level of connection to your body, to be aware that you're using your triceps. This you have to feel burning here on the back of your arms. And go as fast as possible. Emilia, can you bring your palms a little bit further back toward the hips so your forearms are 90 degrees? And you're just going fast and fast. So you should feel your triceps burning. If it's not happening today, we're going to try it again another day. Okay, let's release. Exhale. Now, let us do our yogi cobra. So this time, you're engaging your legs and glutes, lifting the torso up. And now you feel that you don't need your hands. So this is the challenge exactly that I was explaining to you. So we used to work with the back of the body. And if you master that, that's great. But I want you also to feel a difference. And then press the hands, bring the chin to the chest, round the spine, tuck your toes, and come into the downward dog. Exhale. I know I confused you a lot with the sloppy push-up, so just let it go. We'll practice that the other day again. You will find it if you were not sure if you're doing this correctly. Exhale. Then bring the right foot closer to the midline. Step your left foot forward into lunge. Drop the right heel. Walk your hands to the right side of the mat. Lift your torso up into the warrior two, legs on the other side. So take a time to set your front knee, take a time to set your back leg, take your arms overhead, your shoulders are facing the long side of the mat, take your arms parallel to the floor. Be aware of a very strong right arm. If you're not sure, if you're using that, make a fist with the right hand. Engage the right side, engage your right leg, press the outer edge of the right foot to the mat, and then bring your gaze to the front left finger. So feel that the left arm is really light and soft. Don't overwork with the left shoulder. Release the arms and reach to your block. Bring the block inside the left knee. Press the elbow inside the knee. Take your right arm up into extended triangle. So try your best not to have your hip high. Maybe slide the leg away and drop the hips so you feel a little bit of a stretch in your hips here. Don't collapse to your left hand, right? So anytime if I ask you, you're able to take your left arm off the block, right? So it's all here. Center is here. Release the right hand down to the floor. Lift your left heel. Find your way to step into downward dog. Exhale. Long spine. And then let's drop the knees down to the floor and rest in child's pose. Lift the face, head, and transfer eyes into the seated position. And I would invite you to sit on the block with a left knee. So if you don't have a block, you can use just a folded blanket. Just want to elevate the hips a little bit. Get your left knee down to the floor. Set your right shin in front. Interlace the fingers. Bring the hands on the front of the knee and allow yourself length into the spine. Relax the shoulders. So this is your start position. Feel grounded. And then bring the right arm behind and gently twist to the right. Relax your shoulders. Maybe close your eyes. Focus on exhalation. Unfold back to the center, get the length in the spine, and let's go other side. So get your right shin down to the floor, rearrange your hips, interlace the hands on the top of the knee, sit tall, and then when you're ready, twist to the left. Focus on exhale. And unfold back to the center. Let us bring the feet. So let us be on the block for this variation today. Bring your feet together, drop the knees. Hold your ankles and let yourself to come forward. So with elevated hips, you have a little bit more space to stretch your lower back, the whole sacrum. So I'm going to be with the side. So you see that we are trying to get forward with a straight spine. So if you have limits and you're here, that's okay. But be active, lengthening and going forward, not down, forward. If you have more space, you go lower. Neutral neck. You should feel huge stretch in this area of the sacroiliac joints. And of course, you open in the hips. So not rounding, not looking to your toes. You're looking forward. Neutral neck though. So when I say looking forward, we might be thinking of lifting the chin and extending the neck. So that's also not what I'm prefer. I would like you to have a neutral neck, like a crown of the head pulled forward. And you go forward and you stretch and you open in the knees. Let's hold that here. And very slowly, let's release. Let's take the block away. And this time, release the heels a little bit forward. So your diamond shape is a little bit bigger. And this time, you just passively fold. Dropping the head down. So it feels a bit different. Relaxed shoulders. It feels a lot of a stretch. But passive stretch. Hands are on the floor, elbows relaxed where they're just falling. You feel, because we released the heels, you feel a little bit different stretch in the hips area as well. And very slowly come up. We're going to have the block handy and we'll come lying on the back. First, we're going to practice the active bridge pose. So set your feet hip distance. Heels under the knees. They don't need to be too close. They don't need to be far away. Your best way to bend your knees, that heels are under the knees. Bring your arms close to your hips, palms facing the floor. So let us today, before we're going to lift the hips, I want you to scoop the shoulder blades together to the center. So preparing your upper back to go into bridge before the lower back. But neck is neutral and you always look, when you go to the back bend, you always look up straight to the ceiling. And then lift your hips, squeeze your glutes, press the heels. So you need to activate your hamstring and glutes. Lift, but because we started with the upper back, feel how your thoracic spine comes off the floor as well. And hold. 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very slowly come down, exhale. Let us bring the feet together. We will practice the one-legged bridge. So let's again scoop the shoulder blades, make the neck neutral. Lift your hips. This time you're probably not going to go too high. Engage your glute. Bring the body weight to the right leg. Extend your left leg up. And think that you want to reach the ceiling with the left heel. Holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So before dropping the hips, bring your left foot down. Keep your bridge. Engage both glutes. And then come down. Exhale. Catch your breath and let's go with the left side. So it means the right leg will go up. So when you're ready, squeeze your shoulder blades, lift your hips, engage your glutes, bring the body to the left heel, lift your right leg up, flex the foot, go up, hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Don't drop the hip. Bring the right foot down. Squeeze both glutes. Lift it up. And come down. Exhale. So before we go to contour pose, I want you to, again, set your feet a little bit wider and place your block under the hips. So make sure to align the top of the block with this top of the triangle bone. The sacrum here, the lower back is relaxed, the belly is relaxed. You can play with the arms to position that works for you. And we have this passive back bend here that Goal for the passive is to release the lower back rather than to engage the posterior chain. We already did that in the previous sets of the bridges. Let us lift the hips and remove the block slowly, vertebra by vertebra. Bring the hips down to the floor. Then bend your knees one at a time to your chest. Rock, massage the lower back. From this rocking, you're welcome to come to the supine twist. And this time, you might want to use the block. You can bring the block to the left and bring your knees, shins to the block so you have a little bit of a support, little bit of the balance here so your legs are not hanging in their space. And turn your head to the right. You can use any position for the arms. It could be a little bit of Y. That will be more stretch for the shoulder. It could be a little bit of a lower position like T or even lower. You keep your eyes closed and let us just calm the body, the breath, the mind. The practice was intense in parts, so you just like to calm down your nervous system. Bring one foot at a time to the midline, lift your knees, reset the spine back to the center, bring the block to the other side, and maybe use it for support for the knees and shins. Carrying the legs on the right side, turning the head to the left. Very slowly bring your feet back to the center. Reset your hips, reset your shoulders. And then just extend one leg at a time. Adjust the position of the head. Support the head with a folded blanket or towel if you need. Take your arms on the sides. Maybe shake the body a little bit. Just let it find a comfortable position on the mat. Let's take a deep inhale. And exhale through the mouth. Relax all the midsection and allow the back of the body to be grounded to the mat, to be heavy. We touched a little bit of the external shoulder rotation today, so see if you can adjust your arms, elbows to feel that you have this open sensation on the front of the shoulders. Allow yourself to rest here without going back to your list to do yet. Another minute, another 2 minutes of self-reflection. Keep your mind focused on sensations that are arising in the body. Allow the mind to follow the breath. Allow the mind to be connected to their moment to your body, resting in the space. Gentle moves and toes and fingers will help you to return back to the world of movements. When you're ready, roll to one side and come into seated position. Take your time, no rush. You come in seated position. You come into the cross. Knees, bring the hands on the knees to start with, and then bring the hands in front of your chest. Thank yourself for being able to practice this morning. Feel grateful for ability to move, to enjoy your body, to be connected to your body. And take any other positive effects, anything that you can share, that you can use in your daily activity with you to enjoy. Namaste.